Hi everybody. I wanted to make this video a long time ago, but the thing is I kept getting interrupted because I have a lot of homework in my like online classes, so that's why I haven't been making videos lately. And wait, why? And yeah, so basically I was planning on making this video because I was Donald Trump was out of office, and I was honestly getting tired of what like even though I never liked Joe Biden, I at least thought that okay, at least people would at least shut the fuck up about Donald Trump, like, for once and for all. Okay, like obviously I wasn't expecting it to be like a night and day difference, but like thing is I don't know, like this video really pisses me off because we've been having this stupid ass culture war for like over 4 years, maybe like 6 years, considering, you know, like when Donald Trump was in the primaries. We've been in this culture war for so fucking long, and I'm tired of both sides being like so divisive all the time. It's like let's fight against some real problems, okay? Um so yeah, I mean, this video is a month old, so like I so it's a little bit hypocritical for me to say that Vaush is delaying progress when I'm delaying progress myself, because I've doing this like a month like after what happened. But this, like, I have to do this video sometimes because it just really pisses me off. And a lot of people don't think a lot of people think that being a so-called anti-social justice warrior, a lot of people think that is just, you know, whining about dumb shit like Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head. But I mean, once in a while, you actually get like uh something that reminds me of why I hated social justice warriors in the first place. And a lot of the times it gets like bogged down by all these like trivial shit like Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head. But let's watch the video. And I have this on 1.25.
Gina Carano, I assume that's pronounced correctly, is a person. Tragic, I know. She's also a person who was an actress in The Mandalorian. And I don't give... I haven't the slightest care in the world for this. Because I have not watched The Mandalorian. I was completely... At first, I was a little interested. You know, I like it's a high-production show, whatever. I'm sure there are some good moments.
Yeah, you know what,
but then I saw all the Facebook boomer memes where the little baby Yoda would say, like, I like you like hottie doggy dogs, or whatever. And then it would be a Photoshop picture of the Yoda baby in a Trump hat with a hot dog or something. And then I didn't want to watch The Mandalorian. I had a belief, I had a thought, and then it was destroyed.
I just want the virus
I'm sure there
to,
like... Anyway,
I just want to see my girlfriend again. I just want to get a job.
Recently something happened.
And like, I want to go back to work. I want to get someplace in
from
my
her
life,
post at Lucasfilms, working as an actress. And the reason she was because of some unhinged tweets. And you can tell, by the way, how stuff like this goes down based on the reactionary community's reaction to it. Hey, it's Vadim posted this incredible image, how it started and how it's going. The images, here we go. So this was the reaction to Gina's introduction to The Mandalorian when she first stepped in. Fans furious over Cara Dune, that's the name of the character she plays, from The Mandalorian other female characters. Cara Dune triggers outrage by being female in Star Wars. Proof of SJW lies. Is Cara Dune a Mary Sue? Feminist agenda pushing Mary Sue. Woke garbage. The Mandalorian gets woke. And here's one of the... Down here in the O, we have one of the, like, 3 women that these channels have been using over and over for, like, 6 years. Unironically, if you put, like, Big Red or, like, or whatever, any of these people in any of your... I don't know what you're doing. Please... Move on. Move on. Anyway, Mandalorian episode 4 review, woke garbage. But then, as of like yesterday.
And by the way, I want to point out, this is what I'm saying, that like this is the reason why people don't take the anti-SJWs seriously, because you get like a bunch of like bullshit videos like this, whereas you get like a real problem where like a real social justice warrior issue, like somebody getting fired based solely on their political values, it's that, like that is a big fucking problem. So yeah, that's one thing that always like annoys me about the anti-SJW movement, is that they get obsessed with like low-hanging fruit. I mean, I might make a video about like Mr. Potato Head or Dr. Seuss like coming up, but like the difference is I'll do it as like a fun video. I mean, I just want to point out that there's like a difference between this and like and just
the mob wins. Gina Carano fired. Gina Carano fired by Lucasfilm. Cancel culture once again. Canceled by the left for having an opinion. Damn, that's what happened to Hitler too. Liars harassing Gina again, and then we have this right here. We have this woman again. 4 whatever years ago.
Once again, like Vaush keeps using this fucking strawman argument. Is like, does Vaush think that this joke is funny? Or does he actually think, like, I mean, people weren't even using the terminology right and left back then. And plus, and once they did, they came up with like the definition, okay, right wing means like capitalist, left-leaning means socialist, but dumb fucks like Vaush keep simping for like the top 1%, despite him claiming to be a libertarian socialist. He's like not like he's the complete opposite. He should call himself an authoritarian capitalist, because like, I mean, he's like he keeps excusing the fucking top 1%. It's like,
still trying to cancel her. Cara Dune erased. They can't get rid of Gina Carano. And then we have her again over here. This is the quartering video. I can tell because it's got the quartering logo right here. The generic barbershop head. There's so much going on in this thumbnail. We have the 2 triggered SJWs firing laser beams. They're wearing like beanie propeller hats, or they look like them, but they're being denied by the Chad Gina Carano. So what happened in between this and this? What happened? Well, let's find out together, huh? Yeah, I'm pretty curious. Lucasfilm ditches Gina Carano from The Mandalorian over social media posts. Lucasfilm has fired Carano from her job in The Mandalorian after the action star posted on social media that today's political climate in the U.S. is similar to Nazi Germany's treatment of Jews. The comments were abhorrent, the company said. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future, a Lucasfilm spokesperson said in a widely distributed statement. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. She's also been dropped by her talent agency. The comments were made on Carano's Instagram account, where she shared an image of a woman being chased through the streets. The accompanying text stated the Nazis fomented public hatred against Jews as part of the Holocaust. How is that any different from hating somebody for their political views? Man, being conservative really is a disability. Holy shit. How is the Holocaust any different from hating people for their political views? What possible difference could there be between the systemic genocide of an ethnic minority when compared to disliking things people do and say?
Oh, wow. Self-own right there. Self-fucking-own. Like, literally every single video of Vaush, like, Vaush keeps comparing, like Nazi Germany, people were actually murdering Jews, okay? Like, every fucking time Vaush says something about, oh, this guy's a fascist, that guy's a fascist, like, he's, like, obsessed with, like, dumb shit. Like this person made this joke on Twitter, that joke makes him a fascist. Vaush does this all the fucking time.
Never find out. In response, commenters said it was offensive to compare political divisions and rancor with the state-engineered systemic killing of millions of Jews and other people. Yeah, you think? Commenters said, maybe comparing political divisions and rancor with the state-engineered systemic killing of millions of Jews and other people was a bad look. Maybe. Carano's Instagram post was later deleted, but it sparked the hashtag Fire Gina Carano, which gained steam as people shared screenshots of the deleted messages. Really? Get him in here. Get him in. Yeah, there we go. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? I need you guys to understand. I need you guys to understand that to be a conservative and a Trump supporter, and to think that the people on the left are the ones fermenting a socio-political position where we approach Nazism. I mean, standard conservative position. Vaush weren't Nazis conservatives. Nazis are like the uber conservatives. Nazis are the conservatives American conservatives wish they were. Do
I really have to explain that this is like a fucking strawman argument? Because I've listened to, I've watched like a gazillion and conservatives, my dad has Fox News on all the time. Okay, I just want to say, a lot of the times Tucker Carlson and people like him say shit that is say cringy ass shit, cause Tucker Carlson, I feel like Tucker Carlson needed to put his foot down and say that Tucker Carlson needed to talk about more about the positive side of the BLM protest, because I mean there were people that were in the BLM protests that were doing it for a legitimately good cause. The BLM movement got hijacked. Wait, hold on. I need to plug this in. I feel like Tucker Carlson needed to both sides, the argument more. He should have called Donald Trump out, because Donald Trump did a lot of cringy things during that time period. I found with the using gas bombs, and that time where he made fun out of that old 75-year-old man on Twitter. And plus I didn't know about this, but during that time somebody actually posted a link of about the Central Park 5, which then I realized that Donald Trump's kind of is pretty much of an asshole. Okay, so I mean, but if you but the constant the thing is but the constant notion that Republicans all day long sit on their ass being we should just murder some more Jews and more blacks is complete bullshit. A lot of the people that used to be Trump supporters, stopped caring about Donald Trump once they realized that he is kind of an asshole. But anyway, well,
all of the flaccid dog whistling that conservatives in America have been doing for centuries about, keeping our country culturally homogenous. Oh man, they wish they could be that out.
For centuries, okay. Back in back in the Civil War times, it was the Democrats that were pro-slavery. I mean, Vaush always uses the excuse that that the Republicans and Democrats switched sides, but the thing is, he always like at the same time, he always for some reason, Vaush thinks that the Democrats and the Republicans can't switch sides again, but they somehow switched sides back then. Like, I really fucking don't understand his argument. It's like he's saying that okay, the left and the right switched sides then, but now it's like they're static for now for some reason. It's like, be more consistent.
Out and about. It's pretty much their end game, you know? They'll get there one day. We let them. Anyway. Carano has been criticized for her post before, including last fall when she echoed Donald Trump's false claims the 2020 election was stolen. We need to clean up the election process so we're not left feeling the way we do today, Carano said 2 days after the November 3rd vote. No, 2 days after the November 3rd vote, by the way. Not 1 day after, when Trump was winning. Not on November 3rd, when Trump was winning, but when Biden started to win. She's also posted comments and images about face masks that were seen as mocking an essential tool in combating a global pandemic. Carano later clarified she respects anyone who requests that she wear a mask. Okay. With all the information, I understand either way, she says. That's nice. The action star who translated a winning career in MMA into... Oh, she comes from MMA. Okay, that makes sense. The martial arts community tends to be extremely conservative. Or the MMA community, I should say. There are other martial arts communities that aren't quite like that. But I think that, generally speaking, from what I've seen, that's the impression I've gotten. Because a lot of the people who get into MMA are like those, you know, the same type of people who get like really into, I don't know, hunting. Feels like some attempt at resurrecting some old imagined understanding of what like a real independent autonomous alpha male is or something like that. You know what I mean? Had won fans with her portrayal of the battle-hardened Cara Dune on The Mandalorian. Some of those fans are defending her now, saying the reprisals she faces are proof that the current political climate in the U.S. is intolerant. Calling Carano a victim of cancel culture, her supporters return calling for people to cancel Disney+. Yeah, good fucking luck with that. The streaming service in which The Mandalorian appears. By the way, does Disney+ have anything at all that isn't The Mandalorian? Vaush, so you're fine with firing somebody for such a trivial reason? We'll get to that in a second. Lucasfilm was parting ways with Carano after reports she suggested she would play a prominent role in future Star Wars spin-offs propelled by the runaway success of The Mandalorian, so on and so on. Nice. So, cancel culture run amok, right? No, of course not. She absolutely had... I think Lucasfilm was completely within their right to fire her. I don't think you guys understand this, okay? First of all, I need you guys to understand, because everyone's saying people are being canceled for being conservative, okay? Saying that the treatment of conservatives in America is analogous to the treatment of the Jews in the Holocaust is inherently anti-Semitic. It is extremely anti...
Vaush, you literally do this in like 90% of your videos.
It's a functionally Holocaust denial. The idea that these are even comparable, the idea that the extent to which you have to misrepresent or misrepresentation, yeah, the extent to which you have to misrepresent and misinterpret the circumstances surrounding the Holocaust to draw that comparison, as far as I'm concerned, is tantamount to Holocaust denial. And
yeah, then you're an expert. You're totally an expert of Holocaust denial. I mean, if that's what you call Holocaust denial, you're a Holocaust denial. Denier. Yeah, you're a Holocaust denier. Because you constantly think that the treatment of liberals and progressives are tantamount to the Holocaust, which is complete fucking bullshit. It's like you run fucking Disney. You run, like, you run. Okay, I'm not saying you personally as an individual, but the fucking liberal elites own fucking Disney, okay? How? And you're saying that you guys are the ones that are suffering through a Holocaust because some imaginary group of people are saying the N-word on Twitter? Just fuck you.
While I don't expect everyone to be like educated on the totality of what happened in Nazi Germany and what happened in the Holocaust, because if you dig into it, it's an extremely complicated historical issue. If you're confident enough about your beliefs to make public statements about it to hundreds of thousands of people, then you'd better be right enough to not make people this angry. Sorry. If you're going to talk about this shit, then you'd better not be so wrong that you basically do Holocaust denial.
Vaush keeps owning himself.
That's my take on this. And it's not just that. The extra tastelessness of this is that her political organization is the one that's going down that road, which means that it's not just Holocaust denial. In a way, it's gaslighting too, because it's leading people who are legitimately at threat of an autocratic right-wing regime to believe that they are the ones who are actually perpetuating the conditions of an autocratic right-wing regime by resisting those attempting to engage in perpetuating a right-wing autocratic regime. Ridiculous.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to post this document. There's actually a long list of times Donald Trump supporters got, attacked merely for being Trump supporters. And a lot of this is basically just, a lot of this stuff happened before Donald Trump, did all the crazy shit that I've mentioned earlier in this video. And the thing is, the thing about the hard part about switching your political identity is because like, if, say, the president that you thought that you liked did something that you did not like, people would still think of you as like a conservative unless you try really fucking hard to like separate from the rest of the rest of right-wing politics. And like the thing is, that's kind of like what I've been trying to do that, but the thing is, videos like Vaush's video about Gina Carano is making that really fucking difficult, because like, in order for them to forget about Trump, we need to stop this we need to learn to forgive Trump supporters. I personally did not know Trump was going to act the way he did. I didn't know the story about the Central Park Five. There's I thought that Donald Trump was going to be more libertarian. I was disappointed with Trump, but the thing is, but because I've had older videos where I actually supported Trump. People will go back and I'm afraid people will use that to dox me, which there's you basically have to okay, you have to say, well, whenever you're switching sides, I feel like you have to get your friends on Twitter, to come along with you, because it just, it kind of, you get you get kind of alienated, because you don't fucking, it's like,
To play devil's advocate, they're comparing the treatment of Jews before they were massacred. Yeah, well, nobody's killing conservatives in the street. We haven't had a fucking night of broken glass for.
Oh yeah. It's just it's this list. I mean, we have had a lot of we've had a lot of attacks against like Trump supporters. If you want to like look at it, I'm just showing you how like long it is. But I mean, you could look at it in detail, if you want to. Yeah, this was and this type of stuff was basically like perpetuated by like news channels like CNN. CNN like always cheered whenever whenever a Trump supporter got attacked, even for the dumbest reasons. It's like
for conservatives in America, to my knowledge. I don't keep up on the news cycle 100%. To my knowledge, we haven't had soldiers and oh, that's curious. From Gina Carano. Interesting one. I've seen this image used by a lot of people, and this one's a really effective dog whistle, because depending on your preconceived, like, political beliefs, this could be a Jewish question dog whistle, this could be an Illuminati QAnon thing, this could be like a Bilderberg Masonic thing, or this could be like a socialist thing. It genuinely could be all of them. Yeah, it could, like, it's actually really good. But I'll tell you what this isn't. It's not a socialist thing. I don't think she's a socialist. Yeah, it's Pepe posting, you know? I got a feeling this one might be a QAnon type thing. I don't know if it's Jake.
Oh boy.
I got a feeling this one might be a QAnon type thing. Continue. I don't know if it's JQ baiting, but it's probably a QAnon type thing. Shu, share this. I think that Shu's take on this is dumb as fuck. You don't need. Yeah, I know. I saw Shu saying I don't think she should be fired. I think it's dumb as fuck.
Oh wait, you know, I want to say this. I mean, these guys are playing a game of Monopoly. Monopoly is, you know, obviously a board game that's about capitalism and like basically owning the world. And you have like, you know, you have like a globe representing the world, you have like Egypt, you have gold, you have like tons of like money. Yeah, I mean, this is clearly a picture that is just saying the society is basically run by these like top billionaires.
Beliefs. This could be a Jewish question dog whistle. This could be an Illuminati QAnon thing. This could be like a Bilderberg Masonic thing, or this could be like a socialist thing. It genuinely could be all of them. Yeah, it could, like, it's actually really good. But I'll tell you what this isn't. It's not a socialist thing. I don't think she's a socialist. Yeah, it's Pepe posting, you know? I got a feeling this one might be a QAnon type thing. I don't know if it's JQ baiting, but it's probably a QAnon type thing. What does it have to do with Shu, share this. I think that Shu's take on this is dumb as fuck. You don't need. Yeah, I know. I saw Shu saying I don't think she should be fired. I think it's dumb as fuck. At the end of the day, you got to realize this, okay? Like, you know what? Like,
Sean Head needs to get a backbone. You know, like, I mean, a lot of people think that I'm not. A lot of people think that I'm okay. You know, to tell the truth, like a while ago, like I was like pissed off that Sean Head. I was pissed off at Sean Head that like she started calling herself a leftist, even though that, you know, she's her brand was basically like centrist or like anti SJW. I mean, I understood why like she didn't consider herself an alt-right, just because, you know, like the alt-right is like, you know, like the alt-right is like basically like racist people. So I mean, obviously I wouldn't consider Sean Head like an alt-righter, but the thing is, you know, after like, you know, like reading up politics, I I started understanding that, you know, it's you know what, I realized that I'm actually pretty left-leaning myself, and but but then I started like noticing like inconsistencies. It's like, wait, such as the left being socialist, but also being the most extreme capitalists at the same time. That's still boggling my mind. Uh, but anyway, like I accept the fact that Shoehorn Head is on the left now because like I mean somebody needs to like more and more people need to like like understand that wait, we've been bullshitted. Uh, we actually want so we act us right wingers actually wanted socialism all the fucking time, and we just got confused about it because of the media and the like the two-party system. Uh, but anyway, what gets on my nerves is that just because what gets on my nerves is that of all the left leaning people on YouTube that she could become like fuck buddies with, she chose this guy. That I don't.
When you're an actor or an actress or anybody else like that, you're a public figure, and the stuff that you say, oh, she retracted that? Okay.
She has no
and the stuff that
backbone.
you say is representative of the organization that you are a part of. Okay? If you have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers on social media, and you're saying like, this is just like the Holocaust, they're coming after us, like you're acting as a representative of the shows that you are a part of. You have a higher degree of responsibility to keep your public engagement contained because you also have a higher degree of control over the public image of those projects. That is not the case for all jobs and all forms of public advocacy, okay? It's the exact same with like a CEO, somebody who has a big public platform, okay? A CEO can't get away with nearly as much as a common worker when it comes to what they post on social media. Even little weird stuff from a CEO is going to get taken out. Whereas
How
the threshold's a lot higher otherwise. Ben Shapiro was comparing this to the James Gunn thing. The James Gunn thing was him being fired for like 7-year-old tweets or something like that. The James Gunn thing, that was like way back. Just people retweeting ancient shit. Nobody agreed with that. And frankly, nobody cared about James Gunn. There wasn't some gigantic popular movement to get James Gunn fired. It was like a couple of loud voices. Disney caved way the fuck. It was Disney, right? Yeah. Disney caved way the fuck too early on that one. Yeah, and it was mostly conservatives who were pushing that. Yeah, because they didn't like James Gunn. Whereas with fucking Gina Carano, these tweets and what have you came now today. Well, not literally today, but they were in the very recent. They're in reference to recent events. They're current. They aren't being disavowed. They aren't being disowned. They're current and they're being stood by. James Gunn had disavowed all those comments ages ago, did nothing wrong. These aren't even remotely comparable. But hey, Ben Shapiro playing defense for people who trivialize the Holocaust. That's hey,
like the irony with him saying that Ben Shapiro is like is defending people who deny the Holocaust. I mean, this guy, he has called Ben Shapiro a literal Jew. I mean, he called somebody who is a literal Jew a Nazi. Like, do you fucking know how like anti-Semitic you're being? And the fucking reason for it in the video was Ben Shapiro wrote a racist joke back in 2010, back when we were still having a war with Iraq. It was a joke about, it was like basically demonizing Arabs, saying that Arabs like to bomb shit and like drink sewer water or something like that. But like we were at war with them at the fucking time. I mean, people like we had Saturday Night Live making fun out of terrorists back then. Like everybody was making fun out of the Middle East back then. It wasn't just a conservative fucking thing, okay? That's what we've always done when we were in the middle of the fucking war. We've always drew funny pictures of the bad guys that we were fighting in wars. Okay, like with the whole Iraq thing, like it turns out that we've made a lot of mistakes and that we've uh um this was before like the information, really came out, but that like we've learned more. Like I'm still confused about the details because it's like confusing about who bombed who's fighting who. I need to look that up. So I mean, yeah, I mean, looking at it now, I could understand that, it comes off as being like racist. But the thing is, if you actually pay attention, if you ever actually watch like more modern, like Ben Shapiro videos, like conservatives rarely ever fucking talk about Muslims anymore. Like I haven't heard anybody talk about Muslims like in 5 years or even longer. I mean, in we've gotten over it. I mean, that's was one of the reasons why that's what that's something that Fox News was saying a lot, that Donald Trump was the first like conservative president that was like anti-war. So I mean, if, we haven't heard anybody talk about Muslims in over half a decade. And Vaush, this guy, has made a fucking video where he's joking about bombing Israel or bombing Palestine or something like that. It's like, and this was like 2 years ago. It's like, what? Okay. Which, by the way, Israel is full of Jews. I mean, that's literally being very anti-Semitic. And plus, it was like more recent than anything Ben Shapiro is, but you're still fucking demonizing Ben Shapiro based on something that he said like a fucking decade ago. So, wait, was there anything else? Oh yeah, the other thing. Oh yeah, and the other reason why Vaush said that Ben Shapiro is a fascist is literally because Ben Shapiro is making more money than him. Yeah, he literally made that argument. He says Ben Shapiro supports fascism because Ben Shapiro is making more money than him. Well, if that's the case, then Gina Carano, logically consistent, Gina Carano would have been correct in saying that the liberal elites that run Disney are fascist, like according to your own fucking logic, because the people that run Disney have more money than her. Ugh.
That's crazy. James Gunn lost nothing. He literally gained from that controversy. The only reason he ended up gaining from that controversy is because people rushed to his defense. If everyone just put their hands up in the air and said, well, what are you going to do? Then, he absolutely would have lost in total from that. Oh, here's Tim Pool's take. Oh no, now they want to fire Pedro. I used to like Pedro. Mandalorian is a good show. Now that we know Pedro is a Nazi, so what do? I don't know who or what Pedro Pascal is or does. So here's the question to you guys. Oh, Pedro is the main character? Oh, gotcha. I don't watch The Mandalorian. So here's a question to you guys, okay? Do you think there's a difference between one actress saying that disliking conservatives because they're conservatives is the same as Germans being taught to despise and kill their Jewish neighbors, versus one actor saying that the way we are detaining and separating ethnic minorities in concentration camps might be like the way the Holocaust took place? Can you think of any difference between those two? Anything even remotely different between those two?
Hey, by the way, just so you know, Obama built the incarceration camps, and Joe Biden apparently isn't doing anything to fix the problem anyway. Unfortunately, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say, there's it really sucks. I really, and I really wish that Donald Trump actually did, something to help them, but yeah, Donald Trump was no hero. I mean, I can't
The difference is that one of them is a woman. And we don't like that, do we, boys? No, we don't. Let's get her out of here. I still think it's soft Holocaust denial. So. You could argue that this tweet is tasteless, and I do think this tweet is a little tasteless. But I think the comparison here is way more analogous. I think it's way more defensible than the one made by Gina Carano. I do think that. I don't think either of them are good, but I do think that this is very different. There's a huge difference between being a QAnon supporter, so you're a literal fascist, and then saying that actually your opposition is fascist.
She literally said nothing about QAnon. What the fuck are you talking about?
Because they don't like you for being a fascist, and saying that the way we're detaining ethnic minorities in a concentration camp is pretty Hitlerish. There's a huge difference.
Wait, say that again.
Just because they don't like you for being a fascist, and saying that the way we're detaining ethnic minorities in a concentration. But I do think that this is very different. There's a huge difference between being a QAnon supporter, so you're a literal fascist, and then saying that actually your opposition is fascist because they don't like you for being a fascist, and saying that the way we're detaining ethnic minorities in a concentration camp is pretty Hitlerish.
When has she ever said anything about QAnon? What the?
There's a huge difference between both of those things. Yeah. And I hope you guys understand that. By the way, even if what Pedro had done here was actually just as wrong, which I don't think is even close, Tim Pool's like, oh no, actually, I guess in this case, an accusation of hypocrisy would be justified if you believe that this was a legitimate comparison. I was going to impugn him for doing the hypocrisy thing, but I think that in this case, if these were comparable, that it would be fair. But I don't think it's comparable. Pedro's parents were anti-Pinochet? Okay, nice. I'm glad. I mean, he's clearly left-leaning, otherwise he wouldn't have posted that image, right?
Okay, I don't know who Pinochet, but I've heard that he was I've heard that he was a bad guy. It's not every fucking person who's against a bad person is a leftist, okay? You know what? I need to look that up. I don't know who Pinochet is. Who the fuck is... Politician and military dictator. Wow. Well, wow. Wow. Well, well, Vaush is applauding whoever that guy is just for not being Hitler. It's of course, well, every fucking person is anti, is against a dictatorship. It's what the fuck are you talking about? It's
Yeah.
I mean, by that logic, Gina Carano is left-leaning because she's anti-Hitler. Oh.
good. It's good. I don't like Pinochet. You know, it's not a good boy. It's not good. I like them helicopter rides. I don't like flying. You know, it's my ancestral, my communal leftist aversion, having my feet taken off the ground. You know what I'm talking about. Pedro recently supported his sister coming out as trans. Well, that's nice. At the end of the day, listen, this sucks, but this is always going to be the case. Are you ready for it? This is going to be the case under socialism too. Are you ready for it? If you're part of a big fucking movie production, if you're a massive public figure like that, the fact of the matter is, if you make a huge fucking ass out of yourself publicly and get a hate train against you in the public eye, you're probably going to get dipped. That's how it works. When you're an actor or an actress, that's part of the job description. If you make this project look bad by proxy, by you being an absolute cunt online, then yeah, c'est la vie. That's yeah.
I wonder how Vaush would respond.
That image wasn't America and it wasn't 2018. It's still misinformation. Oh, was this so this one wasn't taken in America? I don't know if that necessarily I know it's c'est la vie. Okay, wait, sorry, that was my bad because I mispronounce things accidentally all the time. With my friends back in high school, I would say c'est la vie as part of an ongoing campaign to mispronounce as many French words as possible. We would say oh lay lay as well. And I said so many times that that's just what I say now. So yeah. Okay. Okay, sorry. It's just part of an ongoing and private war I have against the French, okay? Anyway, so this bottom image isn't in America. That probably makes sense. This doesn't really look like the cages that they have in the ICE detention camps. I think that makes it a little worse. I think the sentiment is more or less maintained because we are putting kids in cages, or because that was going on. But yeah, I think I'll say this much, okay? This right here, when was this, 2018? If I had been online at the time making videos, I would have criticized this image right here. I don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I mean, you're literally like talking about bombing fucking Israel at that time. Yeah, right.
I don't think that makes it the same as what the woman did. Does that make sense? See, that's because I think that even though both of them are misinformation, one of them is much worse and therefore should be responded to in a more severe way because it brings about more societal harm. Does that make sense? We all in on that? What is the actual problem with this tweet? I think it's a little bit reductive and a little bit trivializing to the Holocaust. And given the fact that that's...
You call that trivializing to the Holocaust, but you compared... You've called Ben Shapiro a Nazi for saying something Islamophobic back 10 years ago when we were at war with them. What? And the fact that Ben Shapiro has more money than you, and
allegedly, but I believe it. Not actually a picture from the ICE detention centers. It's it's not good. Also, just showing like emaciated Holocaust survivors up against a wire fence, like, and then you're like, this is happening. I don't know. I understand the sentiment that's being propelled here, but I think it's worthy of criticism. You know, at best, it's tactless. Yeah. Can you explain the actual harm done by Gina posting what she did? Yeah, fascists claiming that they're basically like the Jews when they're the ones who are trying to do to the Jews what the Nazis did to the Jews. Yeah, I think that's pretty bad. If we're like. What do you mean? Not the Nazis. Well, no, actually, the Nazis. Nazis and conservatives in general have always engaged in a relentless campaign of self-victimization. It's their fucking bread and butter. Literally, the Nazis were the original cry bullies, dude. The Nazis, while they were running literal death camps, were saying that they were being victimized by like Jewish Bolshevism and like Semitic banking and stuff like that. These people had an autocratic, totalitarian society with fucking SS members marching down the street, and they kept pushing to their people the message that they were being victimized by the world. I mean, there's some argument to be made about the Treaty of Versailles, but then they were like, okay, fuck it, genocide. And this is what conservatives do today, too. Conservatives are absolutely and utterly shameless. They will claim persecution at the drop of a hat over literally nothing. They will claim persecution when they're criticized for persecuting others. They will claim persecution when they face consequences for their action. They will claim persecution when they have political power. They will claim persecution when they face no consequences for their actions whatsoever. Period. Flat out. There's nothing, you know? So that should be pushed back against. It's not good, especially when they're the ones who are risking doing a great deal of social damage.
Wow, Vaush just perfectly explained liberals.
Oh, I drank the water incorrectly.
What dumbass doesn't
Putin supporters
know
right
how
now
to
are crying about being
drink
victimized
water?
by Navalny supporters while 12,000 of them are being sent to jail. Well, this is always, in every fucking far-right regime, they always do this shit. I think it has to do with authoritarianism to some extent too, because I think that the communist regimes would engage in the same types of behavior, you know? But yeah. Navalny's also a conservative. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of nuance to that. Is Navalny fascist? I've heard mixed info. I want to look more into that. If I can find like some definitive proof, like definitive info, that Navalny is definitely better about, like, in regards to his political advocacy than Putin is, like really solid stuff, then I would probably support him more aggressively. Oh yeah, you want to talk about the ultimate cry bully bullshit? Remember after the death of Eric Garner, when all the New York City cops thought they were being disrespected by the mayor who criticized them for ganging up 5-on-1 and one dude selling loose cigarettes and killing him, and they all went out there wearing shirts saying "I can breathe" and did a big march claiming they were the ones who were the victims? If you want to talk about cry bully shit, talk about murdering a man over nothing and then complaining and saying that you're being persecuted when people criticize you for it, okay? But that's conservatism 101. People on the left legitimately don't do that. When people on the left complain about persecution, they can usually trace
Yeah, people on the left,
that back to some legitimate, actual sociological persecution, some genuine shit. Like, the conservatives will say that they're being persecuted because they get fired for saying the N-word on Twitter, and then say that like trans people are being crybabies.
She literally never said the N-word on Twitter, and plus, I mean, you've literally said the N-word on Twitter before. I mean, it was
babies when they say that they're being persecuted by society. There's no reasoning with these people, you know?
click the subscribe button. Bye.